When I became a mom, my whole world turned upside down, as it often does. At this point in my life, I was surrounded by women like me, early to mid-20s, within their first few years of marriage, Christian, middle class, white. And when my life turned upside down, none of us knew what to do. I didn't know how to be a new mom and a good friend. And most of them didn't know how to show support and be a good friend to a new mom. And unfortunately, because of this, I lost a lot of friends, simply due to the fact that we didn't know how to deal with the changes that were coming up in our lives. But as life went on and I made new friends, I found I was making more and more friends that were moms. I found I had a need for other women in my life who simply got it, that there was something so profound about relating to people in what you're going through in life. And it wasn't until recently that I found an even more profound need we all have, and that is the need for diversity. We all need friends, and it's easiest to be friends with people who are like us. But it's vital to have friends who are not like us. If you don't have a friend who doesn't look, walk, talk, and live like you, go make one. Christina Cleveland, in her book Disunity in Christ, puts it this way: we like people who like us. We are attracted to people who share the same attitudes, values, and preferences. Put another way, it's easy, comfortable, and natural to gravitate towards people who are like us. And even more than that, we need people who are like us. We all have a deep need in our souls to be known, to be loved, to be heard, to be understood. And we need people who will support us in our lives and in our faith and in our walk with life. But there is also another more important need we have, and that's for people that are different than us. Sarah Goring, in the Journal of Social Philosophy, puts it this way: our friends play a key role in our understanding of ourselves, as well as in our interactions with others and our outlook on the whole world. Through intimate dialogue with friends, we are able to see the world and ourselves, not only through our own eyes, but also from the perspective of others. We get privileged access to another's views and that to a broader view of the world. No matter what difference it is, whether it's race, religion, status, sexual orientation, or age, we need people that live different lives than us and have different pasts than us. As we learn from our own pasts and our own mistakes and experiences, we can also learn from other people's pasts, mistakes, and experiences. And as we teach each other things about the world and about ourselves and about the lessons we learned along the way, we also help each other grow. Some of you may say, we don't need to do this. Why bother? Things are fine just the way they are. And some of you, this might make you a little nervous, and you may just not like the idea of it. It might be kind of scary. And first I want to say, it's always easy to settle in a comfortable place in life. I totally get it. People don't like change, don't like to be challenged, and don't like to experience growing pains. The Howard Journal of Communications did a study on racism and diversity in college students. And what they found is that when we do nothing, it allows whites to ignore, deny, and therefore continue to support, either actively or passively, the status quo existence of racial inequalities. And this goes much deeper than race, though. One of my old mentors used to always say, if you always do what you've always done, then you always get what you've always got. And I think that applies here because society needs to grow. We need to continue to get better and evolve and change. And we're only going to do that if we're willing to put ourselves in those uncomfortable situations. And Sarah Goring again says, however, my point is not so much that we should only seek out friends who are different from us because they are different from us, but that we should seek out friends who appear different than us because we may very well discover more similarities than we ever could have imagined. And I think this is true too, because when we get to know people that are different than us, we start realizing we don't have as much different as we do in common. And as we realize those things, people go from becoming an other to be part of us and being someone that we understand and people that we get and that we're friends with. As a creature of comfort and habit, this is just as much for me as I'm saying it is for all of us. We may not like it, but we need it. It's always easiest to like people who are like us. We feel a natural familiarity and affinity to people who we put in the same category that we would put ourselves. And that's good and that's okay. But whether it be age, stage, race, religion, sexual orientation, or economic status, we need people in our lives who are different than us. We need people who will challenge us, expand our worldview, and teach us things about ourselves and the world that we never would have known otherwise. And we need to be willing to be that for somebody else as well. We as a society have gotten too comfortable, but growth is possible, and it starts with you and me.